I've traveled all over the place. Like, you know, when you're from a place, all you want to do is leave. I lived in New York City for 10 years. I lived in Florida for a couple years. I lived in London, England for a couple years. So I'm in England, and you know, I grew up around Woodstock, and Amy Helm was one of my dearest friends growing up. And so I'm in a bar, and I'm telling these guys that I like recently become friends with that I'm from Woodstock, and they said, "Do you know Levon?" And I said, "Yeah." And all they wanted to do was talk about Levon Helm to me, and I'm drinking and drinking and drinking and drinking some more. Next thing you know, I'm pretty hammered. I said, I could call him right now. So I pulled out my phone and I called him and put him on speaker. And he was funny. He goes, "When are you coming home?" And these guys were just boggled by it. Like, they just couldn't believe it. And after all that travel, I am just so happy to be back. It's a real community up here, and it's actually, you know, surprising. Like, we have a better scene in our area than most towns have in the country. Oh, I've got a ton of Woodstock stories. I'm a teenager. I mean, maybe 15 years old. I never played a gig in my life. So my friend offers me a gig at Tinker Street Cafe to open for somebody. But it was a ridiculously early slot, and they wanted me on from like 7 to 8. So I get in there, and it's the bartender and the waitress and me. I'm hoping 1 or 2 people come in, but it wasn't happening. So these 4 guys walk in, and they sit in the front row. And I wrote a lot of like punk songs, ridiculous songs, and they were like shouting the lyrics back at me and the choruses. And I thought, who are these guys? So I get off stage, and I sit with them, and I go, thank you for being there, you know, and being so attentive and making my night, really. And they said, you should come to our gig down the road at the Joyous Lake. And I go, oh, that sounds good. And they said, yeah. So there's a line all the way down the block to the door. And I go, you guys are so full of it. You're not playing here. So I go in, still not knowing what their band is called. It's the Sugar Hill Gang. And I kind of saw it as a sign. Like, I thought, those guys were at my first gig. If somebody's trying to tell me that this is what I should be doing,